We want the most qualified. We want the smartest. We want this. We want that. What you're really saying is we want white dominance again. That's what you're really saying.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Stephen A. Smith, Jasmine Crockett, and others complaining about DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion programs yet again. Now, this is kind of getting on my nerves, but I got to come out and keep making these videos to debunk what they say. When you have a Stephen A. Smith with a really large following, people listen to what he says, they believe what he says, they trust him. When he comes out on television, YouTube, or wherever and just lies, I got to come in and clean it up because people are going to believe him. People really believe that DEI programs help black people. They really believe the marketing. They really believe the lies that they have been fed from mainstream media and from these politicians on the left. They really believe it. DEI programs are for them. And when I say them, I mean the LGBTs, your transgender, non-binary, bisexual, pansexual, whatever, all the sexuals. That's who is up under that umbrella. That's who DEI helps. And when you look at race rather than just identity, it'll be majority white who are helped by this, not black. The marketing says, oh, this is to uplift the black community and we're trying to help these black boys get education. It's a bunch of lies. It's a bunch of lies. And I have evidence to back up what I'm saying. When you see these politicos on TV talking, they present no evidence, no facts, no figures, no numbers, just emotion, just feelings. I'm not going to come with that. I'm going to have hardcore physical evidence. Now, before I go any further, let's get to what Jasmine Crockett had to say. And as you guys may or may not know, she is a Democratic House rep from Texas, and she's on the House Oversight Committee. Let's watch. And of course, this video, all my sources, links, evidence will be in the description box. If you're on IG, visit a link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
I am tired of the white tears. Listen, if you are competent, you are not concerned. When I walk into Congress every single day, you know why I don't feel a way and why you can't make me doubt who I am is because I know that I had to work 10 times as hard as they did just to get into the seat. When you look and you compare me to Marjorie Taylor Greene or me to Lauren Boebert, there is no comparison. And that is the life that we have always lived. So the only people that are crying are the mediocre white boys that have been beaten out by people that historically have had to work so much harder. This is why they don't want us to have education. This is why they are trying to literally say we won't fund the HBCUs, because they know that if they've already gone after affirmative action and they're saying, you know what, don't allow them to come into, say, these PWIs, as we call them, don't allow them to come into these institutions. We know why they created the HBCUs in the first place. It was because they wouldn't allow us into.
Let's pause for a second. Now, PWI, if you don't know, that means predominantly white institution, which is the opposite of HBCU. Now, there was a thing called segregation where whites had to go into white things, blacks had to go into black things. We couldn't go to where they were and vice versa. We were separate. And civil rights said, okay, now you can go to wherever you want to go. Ironically, a lot of the black colleges that we started, that we built ourselves from, where a lot of black leaders were produced from, a lot of those colleges fell by the wayside and are struggling heavily because we, as black people, abandoned them. Okay, this is why Black Wall Street fell. Do you know that Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, was destroyed in the 1920s, but then it was rebuilt 5 years later and lasted until the 1960s integration? Why did it stop? Why did it cease when integration came? We left it. We abandoned it. The white man's ice is colder. That's what we did. So first of all, take a little bit of personal accountability, Jasmine Crockett. But beyond that, DEI programs don't help black people. Affirmative action does not help black people. What we should focus on is merit. Black, white, Puerto Rican, and Kenyan stripe. Are you good enough to do this job? Can you fly this plane? Can you flip these burgers? Whatever you're doing, just be the best possible person for the job, regardless of color.
to the white institutions. And so now they're not allowing us in. And now they're saying, you know what, we're also going to defund.
And speaking about defunding, they're not going to defund HBCUs. Trump was the one, when he was the president the first time, he was the one that had permanent funding for HBCUs. Before that, all the presidents of the HBCUs had to go to the White House and ask for money. I don't want to say beg, but that's pretty much what it was. Trump said, okay, you don't got to do that no more. I'm going to make it permanent. And then Biden came along and increased it to try and get a one-up on Trump. So this whole defunding thing, I don't know where it's coming from.
The HBCUs. You know why? Because they don't want any more Kamala Harrises. They don't want any more Jasmine Crockett's. But I got news for them. I don't care what they do. We will fight to the end to make sure that we get our due. Because again, if you want to talk about the people that shouldn't be in this country, you probably need to look in the mirror. Because the last time I checked, the Native Americans who some of ICE have been rounding up, or the Puerto Ricans who are absolutely Americans. Listen, the only people that came and colonized this place are your ancestors. Trump.
Okie dokie. So there we go. Again, that is Jasmine Crockett, your House rep from Texas. Okie dokie. And a very interesting outfit on television. Let's keep on going here. Let's go to Stephen A. Smith. Now, a lot of y'all might like Stephen A., thinking he's becoming more conservative, give him a MAGA hat. This dude's still a stone cold stomp down liberal. He's a normie. He's a normie liberal. Okay. He's the kind of guy that's going to vote for Kamala Harris. But at the same time, he's not going to be in favor of transgender people, men, women, whatever they want to call themselves, in the bathroom with biological women. Let's check it out.
Because when you handle it the way that the Trump administration is handling it, we want the most qualified, we want the smartest, we want this, we want that. What you're really saying is, we want white dominance again. That's what you're really saying. You want white dominance. Because if you're pointing to DEI, and that's usually pointed towards quote unquote unqualified minorities, because you're always using the word qualified, as if everybody that got a position through DEI is not qualified.
What does the word minority mean, Stephen A. Smith? What do you think it means? And what do you think those who are in charge, the powers that be, what do you think they think it means? That's two different questions. And it ain't the same answer, I guarantee you.
We know what you're implying. We know what you're insinuating. And you got folks in the administration and Pete Hegseth. Oh, my God. The nerve of him to just join into the fray and give his quote about making sure qualified people have these jobs. You're the defense secretary, whose only job prior to this was as a weekend host on Fox News.
So you're going to just deny his military career? you're going to deny that part? You're going to deny the deployments and combat and all that? You're going to just say that don't matter? Like that wasn't also his job? That's funny how you do that, Stephen A. Smith. Very funny. Okay, now let's look at some numbers, okay? I don't even want to do too much yapping back and forth. Let's look at some numbers. The statement, the idea is that DEI is a program to help black people get employment. Now, look at this right here. Chief Diversity Officer statistics by race. White, 76.1. Hispanic or Latino, 7.8. Asian, 7.7. Unknown, 3.9. So, like at the bottom of the list, right above American Indian or Alaskan Native, you got Black or African American at 3.8%. 3.8%. The most common ethnicity among chief diversity officers is white. 76.1% of all chief diversity officers. Comparatively, they're 7.8. You see the rest. 54.5% of them are women. 45.5% are men. Now look, if this program is supposed to help black people, why are only 3.8% of the chief diversity officers? We're 13% of the country population-wise. We're not even matching our population percentage as far as the DEI hires, as far as the chief diversity officer. How does that make any sense if the program is to help black people? Now, some are going to say, I don't believe that. Where'd you get those numbers? All this, that, and the third. Okay, remember that number, 3.8%. Let's go to Black Enterprise. Black people only comprise of 4% of DEI positions in the workplace, okay? Now, this is an article from 2023. Black Enterprise, which is a very well-known and respected black publication, been around for decades. So, black guys telling you DEI don't help us. We just saw numbers that say that it helps white women. Black Enterprise says that 4% of DEI positions are black. We're 13% of the population, 4% of DEI. This is a program that helps blacks. It should be 100%. Why is it only 4? Because, as I close, DEI is only marketed as helping black people. It's really for them, for the LGBTs. And think about it like this. All over the country, you have corporations, you got businesses, and they might want to participate in DEI. Okay, so you're somewhere in Idaho and there's no black people because, contrary to popular belief, once you go past Mississippi River, we don't really exist. California, 5%. This is why in LAFD, their idea of DEI is having 3 lesbians in leadership roles in the fire department. You got 2 white women and 1 racially ambiguous person. You could see me and you could clearly tell that I'm black. That woman, I don't know. Looking like Steph Curry and some more stuff. Mariah Carey, I don't know what's going on. Racially ambiguous at best. But I was told that DEI helped black people. I can't tell. We're not the ones being hired. We're not the ones being promoted. We're not the ones being elevated. This is nothing other than black people being used to crash out for the LGBTs and white people. It doesn't make any sense to me, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about DEI and how it, quote unquote, helps black people? What's your opinion about what Stephen A. Smith and Jasmine Crockett said? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. DEI is just completely BS. It doesn't help us. All it does is help the LGBTs and white people. Okay, and look, if you're a black person and you want to support that, you want to support whites, you want to support the LGBTs, that's fine. That's totally fine. But just say that. Don't say that I'm wrong, and don't call me names because I say that a program that's supposed to be for black people that does not help black people is not good for black people. Don't try to say that I'm a bad guy for saying that. I think I'm making common sense. If you say that this program that does not help black people helps black people and you're willing to crash out and vote for that, I don't know what to tell you. I gave you the information right here, black and white. If you don't want to read it, if you don't want to accept it, I don't know what to do. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.